Hello everybody and welcome back to Extra Stress. Today, especially for the holiday season, I thought it would be really lovely to ask Colleen Browne, who is a qualified registered trail running coach. She's a registered mountain guide and she's my coach to come and speak to us about the importance of rest. So Colleen, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for speaking to us. And we're really excited to hear what you have to say about rest.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, well, it's a pleasure. So earlier this year, I think congratulations are due as well, because you went and undertook a major challenge, which you absolutely smashed. You ran the Tour de Giant in Italy. Tell us a little bit about the race.
Yes. So it's a 330 kilometer race through the Italian Alps, particularly in the Aosta Valley. I think the thing that attracted me to the race mostly is the amount of climbing. People who know me well know that I enjoy climbing a lot. It was an amazing journey actually. I don't really regard it as a race. It was more of a journey, and I guess I've learned a lot from it as well, which is the biggest thing, especially in terms of recovery.
So how did it change your view on recovery?
I think for me, I thought about recovery a lot in terms of the physical side, and since the race, I found that recovery mentally has been the most challenging thing. So I've taken quite a few months just to mentally recover from the race, doing movement that feels good and actually only running when I'm in the mood to go out and run. If I wake up in the morning and I don't feel like doing something, or I'm not in the mood, I simply don't, and I'm not going to feel guilty about that. It's just to give your body and your head space that complete break from continuous training.
Which is so important, because on the one hand, we may struggle to start training, to start our fitness and well-being journey. But then on the other hand, we can get to a point where we get so focused on training plans and being afraid to lose fitness that actually we forget the importance of rest.
Exactly, 100%. And that's why I think it's probably one of the most underrated forms of training. I always say recovery and rest is training. It's so part of the process. It's a way to maximize gains from training, but also to make training sustainable so that you can keep going week in and week out. Because very often I find people take rest and recovery only once they are so tired and fatigued that they work themselves into this deep hole of overtraining and fatigue that it takes ages to get out of it. Today talking about recovery I do think is a really important part of the whole process.
So can we unpack a little bit more? I think there are two aspects to it. There's the physical aspect and then there's the mental and emotional aspect. So can we unpack a little bit more the physical aspect? What actually happens when we rest, and how do we rest effectively?
So basically, in basic terms, every workout you do adds a bit of stress or load to your body. And during recovery, that's the process where that load and stress gets converted into performance gains physically. So including recovery into training, I don't know why any athlete wouldn't, because not only are you able to maximize the quality of your training, but you're also able to optimize what you get out of that training in terms of performance enhancements or adaptations. So that's the physical side, and then we can obviously talk about how you optimize recovery, because there are a few very basic, very accessible ways to do that.
So how do we do it? I mean, because recovery is not just about saying, okay, I'm not going to run 24 hours a day, right?
Exactly. And also, I think also in this day and age, we're so bombarded with recovery enhancements, which is supplements and pills and recovery boots and things, but we don't need to go to that extent to optimize recovery. I'd say the first best tool is sleep. If you can get good quality sleep on a regular basis, you're very much up there with recovery and optimizing it. So much happens when we sleep. It's not just it's a very active process that while you're sleeping, from cell regeneration to hormone balance. Sleep is one very important one. It's free. I know it's not always easy, but no magic pill or fad can make up for really bad sleep on a consistent basis. And then the second one is nutrition and hydration. I like to sum up that subject with we need to eat to train and not train to eat. We all, well not all, but a lot of us have this mindset that you go out for a big long run and then you think, I'm going to reward myself with a big fat meal or a treat. And it really, it should be the other way around. It should be the day before or the night before. What am I going to do tomorrow? How can I fuel that run so that I can optimize what I get from it? So yes, eating healthy, whole, nutrient-dense foods that fuel you, and eating enough. When you're training is not really the time, I feel, to be trying to go on diets or things. We need to fuel those energy stores, and we need to start our workouts with a full tank. And obviously then there's nutrition during training as well and after to optimize recovery. Very often I always say you need to combine a lot of macronutrients like carbs and proteins to maximize recovery. And then the last one is training smart. And I have learned this the hard way. I take a rest day when I'm absolutely exhausted, and that's actually not the right approach. You need to be proactive with including rest days, timing them properly so that you don't work yourself into a hole. And also, if you don't do that, your body decides when you will rest, and nobody enjoys enforced rest. You don't want to have to rest. You need to be proactive and plan it smartly. Plan your structured interval type high intensity workouts in a way that you can optimize recovery both before and after them. If you can pretty much optimize those three things, then you're just about there. And that's hard to do that consistently. Yes, we slip up sometimes, but I think there's this whole mindset, well, if I take this pill or I take extra supplements or things, then I can optimize recovery. I'd say focus on those three basics first, and then you can get marginal gains by looking at the extras, like these recovery boots and things.
I suppose the difficulty comes in with today's lifestyle where everybody's running around and so busy. You may take a day off training. So I have a day that I don't go running, but I'm still running around at work on my feet the whole day, crazy with kids. And I think that we need to, in terms of recovery, possibly factor in that maybe wasn't a good recovery day, even though it wasn't a training day.
Exactly. And I also find a lot of athletes who want to train every single day, they decide, oh, I'll go for a recovery hike. No, it doesn't work that way. Rest is rest. You need to not just physically, but also take that mental break from that, give your headspace that break. So yes, there's also the week in and week out taking a rest day. But also I feel like every year we need a complete break from structured training. Just doing movement that feels good. If you're not in the mood, like I was after tour, only going out for a run when I'm in the mood for it. And if I wake up and I'm not in the mood, then don't do it, because we cannot 365 days a year push and work on a structured training basis. We all need a bit of an off season.
And I think that's important, and we're so driven that people forget these things. But from an emotional point of view, you can't be operating at that level of self-discipline the whole time.
You can try, but it doesn't last very long. It's not sustainable. And yes, like I said, I've learned that the hard way with injuries and becoming so overtrained, because you're going to lose fitness and you're going to lose gains. And actually, I was just shooting myself in the foot. You really need to take the time off.
And I mean, obviously with extra stress, our focus is mental health. And I think exercise needs to be a tool to improve our mental wellness.
Yes.
It mustn't become an additional stressor in our lives, because we've all got enough stresses in our lives. So this needs to be a stress relief.
Exactly. And I do find also there's a big narrative out there at the moment that everything you do needs to be productive. Everything needs to be perfect and productive. But I think at some point we need to just say it's okay to just chill. It's okay to sit and drink a cup of coffee without scrolling on your phone or having a meeting or reading emails or whatever that may be. Just taking proper time out. It's okay to be bored every now and then as well. It's good.
Because that boredom makes us present as well.
Exactly.
I find that this morning, in fact, I sat down to have a breakfast after my run, and I decided I was going to sit in the sun without a phone,
Yes.
and just be present and enjoy my breakfast. And it was quite an experience compared to what I usually do.
Yes.
And I think that through being not present, we actually decrease our productivity, we decrease our
100%.
joy in life, and we decrease our intentionality about looking after the nutrition, the hydration, the sleep, the interpersonal relationships. We lose all of that through not being present and not being intentional.
Exactly. And to make peace in the fact that it's okay to slip up every now and then, or slip up. It's fine if you don't hit every single target every single day. It's okay, we're just human.
And thank goodness for that.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. I think this has been really interesting, and I think hopefully over the last few months of X the Stress, maybe one or two people out there have been inspired to start moving, inspired to start exercising, but please also just remember the importance of rest and recovery. Thank you so much for your interest. If you'd like to see more of these interviews, please follow us on our YouTube channel